Okay, number 1 is the Iron Wolves. So this season's quest line is centered on this faction called the Iron Wolves, and I like the very first quest that they give us because it's very short, it's easy to track. We're just going to Hell Tides and collecting medallion shards, and once we've collected enough, we're heading back to town and talk to the NPC. My problem comes with when we're trying to reach rank 1 within the Iron Wolves faction. We have to go to Hell Tides and kill a bunch of monsters, and every now and then we'll get a +1 or +5 the Wolves honor. You're basically just collecting them blindly because there's no way to check your progress to see how far you've come along or how much you have left to do in order to complete the quest. And it gets even more frustrating when you get to the higher ranks. For example, you need to get to rank 5 and then to rank 9. And for myself, honestly, I started the rank 9 quest at level 30 and I was doing it all the way up to level 45 and still had not completed it. So that's just something that I observed during my playtime today, and it's something that I want you to keep in mind. I wish there was something Blizzard can do in order for us to see our progress a little bit better on the season quest line. Okay, number 2 is the Hell Tides, and I love that this time around we can go into Hell Tides for basically everything we need to do between level 1 and level 50. We're in there collecting XP so we can get to higher levels to unlock our skills. We're in there collecting weapons, collecting armor, and not only that, we're also in there with a bunch of other players. Especially right now since the season just started, there's a lot of players, and when you play one or even multiple people, you get an XP boost, which helps you progress through the levels that much faster. So it's awesome that we're doing that right now. One of the highlights is that there is a meter that grows the more monsters you kill. People have been comparing it to like a GTA, where once you hit the peak of it, you basically have generated so much threat that the Hell Tide sends a monster at you, actually a group of monsters to try to take you down, and once you kill them, you get so much XP and rewards that it's worth the time that it takes to get them there chasing you. Okay, number 3 is the colors in Hell Tides. Now, for everything that Hell Tides does well, my main issue is going to be that there's so many different types of text that pop up as you're farming materials, and especially as you're working towards progressing your season quest line. There's so many things that pop up on the map that it's hard to see exactly what you're earning and what's going on. So I just wish that Blizzard can make that a little bit more clear. I don't know if there's different text colors they can use or different styles, because it's easy to see things such as vulnerable or overpower damage, but the specific things that are hard to read are the, I'm not sure to pronounce this, I think it's aberrant cinder, and then when you get the blue magic items, and as well as the +1 or +5 to Wolves Honor. All these things combined on the ground makes it pretty difficult to see what exactly is going on besides all the chaos going on that the Hell Tides usually provides because of all the fighting and the multiple players that are there at the same time as you. Okay, number 4, we have tempering. In your early levels, I really only recommend you use tempering right before you're going to try to progress from World Tier 2 to World Tier 3, and then from 3 to 4. And the reason I say that is because you're going through items so quickly, you're just churning through them, that there's no real reason to spend money or materials to upgrade the ones that you're just collecting along the way. But once you're trying to cross over to the next level of world tiers, the capstone dungeons can be pretty hard. So right before you tackle those, it's an excellent idea to temper all of your armor and all of your weapons to get as much stats as you can right before you take on the capstone dungeon. And besides the benefits the tempering system gives you, I also really like that the manuals you pick up along the way are easy to use. They just go to your inventory when you pick them up off the ground, and then you can right click them once they're there and they're automatically used up. And even though you might pick up manuals that you've already collected before, once you use them, the game will let you know you already have this manual, or you might have a higher tier of that same manual, but either way, it gets used up and removed from your inventory. So there's no unnecessary clutter going on in there, which I think is an excellent quality of life feature. Okay, number 5, we have the Rogue. So I know a lot of people are looking at the Rogue to be the weakest character this season. Of course, this is all theoretical because the season just started and all of the power rankings were going on ahead of time without having full access to this season. But honestly, I tried using the Rogue and I used probably the weakest build that you can, which is a grenade build. And it's definitely not recommended to use it as a leveling build, but that's how I used it today. And honestly, there are some struggles, especially when you're going for single target DPS. But besides that, it's not really that aggravating. It's actually pretty fun to use because of the mobility that you have as the Rogue. And the other thing I would say is that leveling builds matter less this season because of the Hell Tides, and they especially matter less at the beginning of the season because everyone is in the Hell Tides together and you're getting bonus XP from playing with other players. And that being said, you are able to get to your higher levels faster. The problem is going to be when you have to get the right legendary aspects for your build. So that takes a little bit of time in order for your build to come online. But the same could be said for most characters and most builds, so that's not unique to the rogue. But even though leveling builds matter less this season, don't think that you can jump right into World Tier 3 at, for example, level 30 like other characters can. I would recommend you wait till you get to about level between 47 and 50. It might be doable. And even then, as I mentioned earlier, you want to temper all of your items so that you max out the stats before you take on the capstone dungeon. But besides the struggles with single target DPS, once you're inside of dungeons on your own without other players, you still get through them relatively fast, I would say. So yeah, I wouldn't sleep on the rogue. And this season, I would play any type of build you want. I wouldn't force yourself to play a leveling build until you get to level 80 or 100 and then switch over to the fun build you've had in mind all along. I would just stick with whatever you think is going to be fun from the get-go and just enjoy it from there. Alright, that's gonna do it. If you'd like to see more content like this, please hit like and subscribe, and make sure to click on the notifications so you know the next time I release another Diablo 4 video. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you next time.